trying to say I'm tongue-tied, whenever you are near me. I'm mummy, 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 whenever you're around, whenever you're around, girl.
Welcome back to the show where we shine a spotlight on the character who would want it the most, the cat. These next videos might be a little shorter than the last batch, because Cat is done growing and he basically settles into a mix of the first couple seasons with later seasons. He's back to dancing again, but he can also still pilot a ship. But it looks like semi-mature Cat, who wasn't totally insensitive all the time and had his own kind of rudimentary intelligence from season 6 and back to Earth, is gone for good. To be fair, most of what people call the Dave era of Red Dwarf doesn't focus too much on character development anyway. Well, season 10 had some, but 11 and 12 were almost completely played for laughs. So on to season 10.
Did you see that? That was cool. Do it again.
Trojan opens up with him reacting to Lister getting way too invested in pig racing. It's pretty bad when even Cat thinks you're an idiot. Then he finds a book on weird facts and this gem of a conversation takes place.
Did you know that in the 1970s in Sweden, 20% of all traffic accidents involved the moose?
Well, if they're stupid enough to let them drive, what the hell do they expect?
It goes on for a while.
You mean they're in the back fooling around, distracting the driver? Why are they giving them a lift in the first place?
Too bad I can't show too much of it due to content ID.
You mean they're not looking left and right?
Exactly.
Not using the pedestrian crossings?
Exactly.
Of course they're not, they're mooses!
But it leads into a great running gag. Crichton also sees the book.
Maybe we could swap ships. This baby's gotta be better than Red Dwarf. That crate's slower than the speed of dark.
So Rimmer is studying for one of his tests, and he just happens to run across a question that was in that book.
How did you get that?
Get what?
Oh, but here comes Cat. He definitely won't know it, right?
What caused this accident?
What accident?
That'll make Rimmer feel better.
It's 1971. A man...
Was he Swedish?
Yes.
A moose.
One of the best Cat moments in season 10 right there.
The moose is on the road, by the way, not in the car driving. Ow, yeah! Ow, yeah!
After drawing all over Rimmer's face while he was suffering a hard drive crash and then erasing it before they revived him.
Now, the average person has 3,000 different thoughts a day. He only has 3.
Cat is dumb gag. Anyway, I like how he's weirdly in Rimmer's space throughout this conversation.
Hardly a day went by when he didn't swirly my head down the toilet or leave me wedgie to a door hook, sometimes for hours.
This guy sounds amazing.
He doesn't say much, but he makes a lot of amusing faces in response to everything. Later on, when Rimmer is showing his brother around and introducing him to the crew.
And as part of our interspecies program, our very able navigation officer, Flight Officer Gerald Hampton. Gerald Hampton.
I can't believe he thought Cat would remember he was given a fake name.
Good to meet you.
And why do that anyway? I can see Lister,
David Listerton Smythe.
since Rimmer might have mentioned him to Howard at some point. Then again, he also gave one to Crichton.
Crichton Kritinsky.
So whatever, rule of funny, I guess. Either way, I also love that it's such a generic name.
Gerald Hampton.
I also wonder if it's a reference to how Danny tends to forget his lines. A little later,
Course to that place you has to go to, plot it.
Take us away, navigation officer.
That's me. I'll do that.
Cat seems proud of the fact that he did at least remember that he's supposed to be navigation officer. He also thought of this.
Turning right now, ma'am.
That look on his face like, God, I hope this works.
We'll teleport him straight to the space station.
Yeah, you do that. I'm gonna get me another felt tip.
Of course he gets himself lost. I never noticed before how crazy that map looks. It's just like hundreds of geometric shapes overlapping each other. No wonder he got lost. I love that he actually took the sign off the wall. That's something I'd like to do in the amusement park level in Silent Hill 3.
Mr. Hampton, sir.
Anyway, he shows up in the nick of time. I love how amused he is by all this.
In 90 minutes, we're gonna be hotter than me in a pair of silk Speedos.
Fathers and Sons opens with Cat and Lister talking about Lister needing to see the dentist.
As soon as that robo drill started screeching, I bet you were gone.
Yeah? How'd you know that?
You're still wearing a bib.
Good observation there.
Ow, nice pixels. Hey, buds, what's happening?
Here's another scene where Cat doesn't say much but has great facial expressions. Later, Lister is finally going to see the Dentabot. Cat's just there so he can steal the last tank of anesthetic.
But you don't need it, right?
Don't need it now, but one day I will.
Damn, you'd think there'd be some kind of security measure to prevent that. He's even really obnoxious about it.
I'm always collecting things I don't need for when I need them. You got to think ahead.
But I need that anesthetic now.
See? You didn't think ahead. This is what I'm saying. You got to think ahead.
Not sure about his collecting things. That's kind of random. I've seen dogs collect things, but not really cats.
How about we share?
Hey, bud, never ask a cat to share. It's a scratch to the face, often offends.
That is definitely in character.
I have but one question. What's a lemon?
Enjoy the moment. You're no longer the dumb one.
Thanks, bud.
Lemons opens with a reference to the silly games Cat and Lister play off screen.
This holds the fourth on the autopsy table. You have to land your drive over the bunion plasters in between the two kidney donor dishes, then a straight shot into the medical student's practice rectum.
That were also mentioned in Time Slides in Blue.
Unicycle polo.
Match the body part to the crew member.
I always loved that one.
But yeah, Lister is cooking something,
Steak? What is it, pork?
and notice that Cat can't identify it by the smell.
Catch you later.
Don't worry, that's gonna come back and bite him big time.
Maybe needs a little more soy sauce. Ow! It's always Earth with you guys. Who's to say it isn't a planet entirely populated by naked warrior cat babes who need me to make love to them all?
Keeping the dream alive. I love that Cat's the only one whose turban and scarf match what he was already wearing. He also didn't grow a beard like Lister did. I doubt that he wouldn't be able to grow facial hair. If nothing else, his high alter ego in Demons and Angels had, what is that, a soul patch? I think it's more likely that he found a way to shave and he just didn't share with Lister. Sometimes you wonder how cats can stay so immaculate all the time, so it works.
An oxen had a higher standing in society than a woman.
Where did the oxen go wrong? They had it all and just threw it all away.
Later on, they get to talking about Jesus and
23 AD, this is when he was supposed to be alive.
So how old would he be?
Let's work it out, shall we?
I love that this doubles as a Cat is dumb gag along with Rimmer as an asshole. And Cat is just completely clueless the whole time, while Lister and Crichton look exasperated. It's a great bit.
23.
That's how old that guy looks.
So there's a similar running gag here as the one in Trojan.
A dish fit for a king. That was Shakespeare. What a great expression.
In a pickle?
Rimmer ranted about how there's no point in quoting Shakespeare because he's totally irrelevant to their present lives.
Let's face it, sir. We're in a real pickle.
And once again, it comes to a head with Cat.
A dish fit for a king.
Here's some more TMI.
At last I can get a change of underwear. These suckers are riding so hard they'd show up on x-rays.
Also those faces he's making.
My spleen. You removed my spleen.
So here's the payoff for Cat stealing Lister's food.
But the rest of your organs in the freezer.
Excuse me.
Actually, not the first time Cat ate something that he couldn't identify with smell, and both times had the same outcome.
I knew it didn't smell right. Oh my God.
You'd think he would have learned after the first one. That's a pretty big mistake to make twice.
Do you really think this is helping?
Read my CV. Does not help. Does not clean. Will have sex with anything.
Entangled has Cat doing something we haven't seen in a while, hunting. This is one of those, hey, my cat does that things that we haven't seen him do since the first couple seasons. Tara likes to kill and eat spiders, which is great for me. In this case, Cat is going after a space weevil. Surprised you lost track of it, those things are huge.
Little sucker keeps outsmarting me.
Well, they do have an IQ of 2, sir.
So Crichton has been experimenting with crystals left over from Trojan, and the result is he and Cat being in sync.
What a weird coincidence.
Hey, we both said that at the same time.
This is cute, but it doesn't have much to do with Cat himself.
Probably just coincidence.
But I do like that they went with Crichton and Cat for this subplot, since, as I said a while back, they seem to really get along well, and I think it's cute. Also, whenever the crew is split for some reason, it's usually Lister and Cat as one group and Crichton and Rimmer as the other. So it's nice to see Cat and Crichton doing something together for a change.
Space Weevil!
As usual, Cat is super helpful when it comes time to tell Rimmer he was lost in a poker game.
We're all deeply sorry, bud. Apart from me and him and him.
He's really into that groinal exploder, though.
Wow! Cool pants, bud. That's gonna drive the chicks nuts.
Later, they want to take advantage of the synchronicity, and apparently it's more likely to work when they have heightened emotions.
Ever heard of the expression, as cool as a cat? We're pretty hard to fluster, buddy.
Stage 1 achieved.
To be fair, I'm surprised that didn't get a much bigger reaction. If anything, he seems to forget about it right after.
Wait a minute. How about this for weird?
According to the Making Of documentary, talking at the same time was a real challenge for these two actors.
Her name's Irene, and her nickname is Professor E.
There's kind of a rhythm to how they're talking, so that's probably how they managed it.
Wouldn't it be ironic if a professor known for being wrong finally got something right?
Kat doesn't have a whole lot to do in Dear Dave, but both of his scenes are amazing.
What's the best way to break bad news? And what kind of face you got on?
A serious face, sir. Kindly, but serious.
That's what I thought. Hey, thanks, bud.
First, he needs to give some bad news, but with charades because he's bored.
Remember, really bad news.
It's just so cute.
2 words.
Whole thing.
And the rest of them aren't even really trying to guess, they're just making stuff up.
Rimmer's got a rogue virus. I've got a rogue virus. Zombies! Zombies!
A giant death worm.
It's turned into a jacket.
Crichton eventually gets it.
Your clothes are on a washing line,
jacket.
and a mail pod came in and crashed into your clothes.
Got it in one.
And how's that 2 words?
Because when it happened, I said, oh, man.
I love how everyone else is pissed off by the end, but Kat's all, I had fun.
So who is this Roy dude?
His second major scene is where he checks on Lister after hearing about the letter he got regarding his ex being pregnant. Possibly by him, but it could be another guy named Roy, and naturally Lister is having some anxiety over the fact that she could have been seeing both of them at the same time.
Don't think about them together. Keep all those them together thoughts right out of your head.
So naturally, while trying to tell Lister not to think about it,
And don't be tempted to wonder if she squidged up her nose for him in that really cute way she used to squidge up her nose for you, because the chances are she did.
he gets him to think about it more.
Don't start thinking about all those late night shifts she was always doing, because if it was me, I'd be thinking like, hey, banks all close at 5.
I love that Kat got that, but Lister didn't.
Hey, you don't think she was with this Roy guy?
The whole damn time.
Here's where it gets really bad.
Because if you start thinking about all those hours you were sitting at home killing time while she was probably on all fours covered in money while his finger-wetting machine was working overtime.
Oh my god, bad kitty.
Now you get a picture like that in your head, it's real hard to get rid of.
Yeah, that was kinda graphic. And I know I've said this before, but I'm gonna mention it again because it's an important part of his character. He's not being mean on purpose. He really thinks he's helping. He just has no filter and is kind of an idiot.
I told you not to think about it.
I'm thinking about it now.
This actually reminds me a lot of the scene in Epideme where Lister is angsting over losing his arm and Kat tries to make him feel better by comparing him to a 3-legged pit bull and doesn't understand why he gets mad.
I don't think you've been listening to a thing I've said.
The scene even ends in a nearly identical way.
That's unbelievable. You've not listened to a word I've said.
Okay, one more bit with Kat where he can't find any toilet paper.
There's gotta be some somewhere.
I guess we needed to meet our brown trousers quota for this season.
Damn near walk 3 miles.
He ends up finding some mail,
Ooh.
but that turns out to be the one Lister was waiting for.
That's my special report.
It won't be special in a minute.
Great line there.
What the hell is this thing?
It's a wibbly gun. It makes things go all wibblified.
In the beginning, I think this is Kat's room, but they seem to make it a point of not letting us see it. Maybe not. Maybe this is just a case of Kat napping in a random room somewhere.
So what's our next move? Shall I go slip into something more appropriate, like, say, a coffin?
This is another episode where Kat is just there for most of it and doesn't do much, but he does have this great scene. Rimmer is trying to come up with a plan, and Kat comes in and starts bothering him because that's what cats do. Reminds me of Tara sandwiching herself between my keyboard and monitor. Also kind of a throwback to season 1, only that was a yo-yo. Also,
Why you can't think of a plan, dummy? It's a demon messing up your head. Your father.
Kat kind of accidentally helps Rimmer.
The only thing keeping him alive is you. You're never gonna win over that dude's approval. Give it up. Let it go.
That's very profound for him.
Hey, look how it's moving.
This scene is a perfect microcosm of Kat.
How do you know all this?
Do you think awesome good looks and rock-hard pecs are my only qualities? I'm a cat. I sense things.
Stupid and smart at the same time. Maybe not smart so much as instinctual, but it's still a kind of intelligence. He offhandedly solves Rimmer's lifelong problem while excitedly playing with a string the whole time. And that's season 10 Cat. There are a whole lot of throwbacks to seasons 1 and 2, like the dancing and playing with toys like a cat would, but he's still able to fly a spaceship, sometimes notices when something's off, and of course that fun little surprising scene where he solves Rimmer's problem. I still prefer Season 6 Cat, but this one works too. I'm sure it was refreshing for those who were missing Seasons 1 and 2 Cat and wanted to see more of that stuff. Even his wardrobe kind of feels like a throwback to Season 1, like we've looped back around to the super nice suits era. There are a couple that I don't like, but in general I like his Season 10 look. One exception though. I hate what they did to his hair. It's so big and overly elaborate, I hate it. I hate it. His hair has gone through a lot of iterations, but it's always been fairly sleek and simple and didn't detract from his clothes, and a guy with this look needs some aspect of it to be simple to balance it out. What I think maybe they were going for is a shape that mimics the seasons 1 through 3 look, with the poofy hair and the small ponytail, but they were trying to do it with Caucasian type hair. Kind of the same idea as the sculpted bump from season 5, and no, I don't care that it's actually called a pompadour, stop being pedantic. But at least that one was kind of a product of its time. It seemed to be going for that sculpted fade look that was popular in the 90s, but with Caucasian hair. This hairstyle doesn't belong in any decade. Just yikes. Okay, with that out of the way, let's focus on the clothes. Unfortunately, that also starts off with something I don't like. Trojan has him wearing fuchsia velvet pants and, well, it looks like a blazer at first glance, but it could be a vest or maybe the sleeves just match the shirt, with big fluffy feathers coming out of the lapels. The shirt is glittery and possibly see-through, though that might be a trick of the light, hard to tell. And it's covered in silver sequins of some kind. There's also a silver glittery little bow-shaped pin. I'm sorry, it's too much. I hate it, especially with that overly elaborate hair. Later he wears the same type of Star Trek-y jumpsuit as everyone else, except the colors are swapped on his. Not much to say other than it looks damn good on him. The rest of them look good too, especially considering their ages, but Danny just rocks his. I'm afraid his outfit in Fathers and Sons isn't much better than the fuchsia outfit. I can't quite make out the pattern, but I think I see leaves and jungle print. Anyway, it's got just about every color in it. Pale yellow, lime green, fuchsia, periwinkle. Granted, all light colors, but it's a lot of them. The collar is turquoise-colored fur for some reason, and it's paired with a pale purple shirt and an almost matching sequin tie, though it's a bit darker. They could have at least paired it with black pants, but the whole damn suit is this busy pastel rainbow. Ugh. In Lemons, he finally wears something I like. It's actually kind of a similar look as the last suit. If you look closely, you can see that there are a lot of colors in it, but they're toned down and it's got black trim and is paired with a dark purple shirt and a black tie. It's kind of velvety, and this is another pattern I can't quite make out, but the lines are matte and a dark color. Purple, maybe? It slightly toes the line, but I still like it. I also like that he managed to find a matching turban and scarf to go with it. Notice that his is the only one with jewelry involved. I love it when they give Cat details like that. There's actually a costume change in this one, and it's the tartan suit he wore in the second half of The Inquisitor way back in season 5. Nothing new, just that exact outfit down to the tie. Wow, good on Danny for being able to wear the same clothes at 50 that he wore when he was 30. I'm just now really realizing how many of these suits are palette swaps of each other. It really is almost like season 1 again. In Entangled, it's a satiny turquoise with some kind of leafy pattern that appears to have been done in matte purple. Again, with black trim. Simple white shirt and black tie like with a tartan suit. Dear Dave has him wearing something a little different. It's all pink, but it looks red in some lighting. The jacket has some kind of silvery diamond pattern on it. The shirt and pants are solid pink, though the pants are quilted, also a diamond pattern. It's also got a gold brooch with pink jewels in it, and the jacket is held closed with a gold chain and 2 pink jewels. I love this one, it's very creative with the jewelry. The beginning first shows him wearing what I guess is a pink furry robe. I noticed that the shirt and tie is something he's still wearing later, so I guess he's just taking a nap. So yeah, maybe this isn't meant to be his quarters. Later he wears what might be my favorite outfit this season. I think maybe just because it gets away from the whole suit aesthetic. Anyway, it's shiny black pants, a black shirt and black tie with, I think, rhinestones on it, and a bolero jacket that is covered in pink sequins with black lapels. It's even got diamond buttons like that blue one he wore in Epideme and back in the Red Part 1. Yeah, this is the kind of outfit that I like to see on Cat. Flashy and colorful, but with lots of black to balance it out. And in this scene we can see that he's got a blingy silver bracelet. So I guess that's about everything I have to say about how Cat is portrayed in Season 10. Like I said, it's kind of a mix of previous versions of Cat rolled into one, and that's fine. Next up will be Season 11 and maybe 12? We'll see. See you then.
When I saw you for the first time, my knees began to quiver, and I got a funny feeling in my kidneys and my liver. Digestive system, baby. My hands, they started shaking, and my heart began.
See you then. Oh, fuck. I guess I'll just stop. I wanted to do one more take, but